Hello students, welcome to Pi Academy, the place for mathematics and science. Dear students, in today's class, let's go for continuing the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. And remember, this is fourth period of this chapter. In third period, we focused on Newton's second law of motion, right? What is the other name of Newton's second law? You are right, it is law of momentum. Then what is momentum? It is the product of mass and velocity, right? What is its actual meaning? It is the impact produced by a moving object. Is it not? Then what is the SI unit of momentum? It is P is equal to m into A. This is the formula. So kg meter per second is the SI unit of momentum. Then how do you state Newton's second law of motion? It can be stated as the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. Clear? Then using Newton's second law, you can go for deriving the formula to calculate force. What is that formula? You are right. It is F is equal to m into A. You know that how to derive this. Using Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. Momentum is P is equal to mu, and you will go for taking the change in momentum. Hence, first you will take initial momentum. Initial momentum is P1 is equal to m into u, and final momentum P2, it is m into v. Change in momentum, this is mv minus mu, and rate of change of momentum mv minus mu divided by t, and this is directly proportional to force. That is, here m into v minus u by t is proportional to f. Then what is v minus u by t? It is a. M into a is proportional to f, or f is proportional to m into a. Here proportional is there, hence you will go for assuming proportionality constant, that is called k. K into m into a. If k is equal to 1, then f is equal to m into a. Hence the formula is derived. Got it? You have learned this one. Then after that, we started solving some of the problems, numerical problems. In that 4 were over, and fifth one I had given for homework. Hope that you might have finished. If not, you just observe my explanation and you can go for writing. If you have written, just go for verify. The fifth one is like this. It is a motor car is moving with a velocity of 108 km per hour, and it takes 4 seconds to stop after the brakes are applied. Obviously, for a moving object, when the brakes are applied, it slows down, then finally it comes to rest. Then calculate the force exerted by the brakes on the motor car if its mass along with the passenger is 1000 kg. Even I had explained the data as well. I am going to write the same. Here the motor car is moving with 108 km per hour. What does it indicate? It is initial velocity, u is equal to 108 km per hour. Next, here time is given in second, but here time is in hour. So that let us go for converting this into meter per second. 108 into 1 km per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. 18 ones are 18 6 are, right? Now 6 5s are 30 meter per second. Next, it takes 4 seconds to stop after the application of brakes. When the brakes are applied, then finally it comes to rest. When it is at rest, what will be its velocity? You are right, it is 0. That is the final velocity. To change its velocity from 30 meter per second to 0 meter per second, how much time it has taken? 4 seconds. T is equal to 4 seconds. And it is carrying the mass, including the passengers. Altogether it is 1000 kg. M is equal to 1000 kg. You are going to find out it is the force exerted by the brakes, right? Now we shall go for finding that. What is that formula? We know that F is equal to m into A, force formula. We know the mass, but do you know acceleration? Unknown. So to find out acceleration, you need u, v and t. But all the terms are there. Here I'll write m into where a is v minus u by t. Substitute. M is 1000 into v is 0, u is 30 and time is 4 seconds. This is equal to 1000 into minus 30, because 0 minus 30 is minus 30 divided by 4. You can cancel it. See that 2 2s are 2 15s are. Then 2 1s are 2 500s are. It's equal to minus as it is 2 zeros as it is 15 5s are 75. So F is equal to minus 7500. Actually it is the what amount of force is applied by the brakes? It is 7500 Newton. Whereas minus indicates it is the force exerted is the opposite to the direction of movement of the motor car. Clear? So we can write the conclusion that the force exerted by the brakes, the force exerted by the brakes is, you have to write 7500 Newton. Answer is minus 7500. 100 is there, but in conclusion you have to write this one. If you want to indicate minus sign, below that you can write. Minus sign indicates it is the force applied to the opposite to the direction of motion of the motor car. Clear? Okay. If you just to check that your answer. If you have written the same, then follow this one. If not, just pause the video and you can go for copying. Now, sixth one. Please go through this. It is a force of 5 Newton gives a mass m1, an acceleration of 10 meter per second square, and a mass m2, an acceleration of 20 meter per second square. What acceleration would it give if both the masses were tied together? Hope that you have understood. Once I repeat, here when 5 Newton of force is applied on a body of mass m, it takes an acceleration of 10 meter per second square, and the same amount of force is applied on this and it takes an acceleration of 20 meter per second square. Then what acceleration would it give if both the masses were tied together? Hope that you have understood. If both the masses were tied together, but do you know the mass m1 and m2 both are unknown. So first we should find out both m1 and m2. Here I'll write data. Force is given, it is 5 Newton, and m1 and m2 are the masses of two bodies. Then acceleration with respect to m1, it is a1. a1 is 10 meter per second square. With respect to m2, acceleration gained by the body m2, that is its acceleration a2, this is 20 meter per second square. You are going to find out what acceleration would it give if both the masses were tied together, right? Let's go for calculating that. This is calculation. First, F is equal to m into a, m1 into a1. What is the force? 5 Newton. Mass of first object is unknown. Its acceleration is known. It is 10. We can write m1 is 5 by 10 is nothing but 0.5 kg. Hope that you have understood. Next, F is equal to m2 into a2, right? Then force is say 5 Newton and m2, it is unknown, whereas acceleration is 20. It is m2 is equal to 5 by 20. This is equal to 0.50. 20 2s are 40. 10 will remain 100. 25 sir. M2 is 0.25. Got it? So mass of first body and second body both are known. When they are tied together, here I'll write, when the two masses tied together, we can write, you may call it as M. M is equal to M1 plus M2. It is M1 is 0.5, M2 is 0.25. Altogether it is 0.75 kg. Then with the same amount of force, what acceleration will be given to this mass? Here I'll write. We know that F is equal to M into A. This is A is the acceleration given to the body when two masses were tied together. Force is 5 Newton, M is 0.75, A is unknown. And this can also be written as 75 by 100 into A. This can also be written as 25 3s are 25 4s are. Then A is equal to cross multiply. 4 5s are 20, 20 by 3. A is equal to 6.66 and it is approximately we can write 6.67 meter per second square. This is the acceleration to be given to the body when two masses were tied together. Did you understand? Yes. Please go for copying. It is also important one. You can put star mark for this. Dear students, observe. This is also very nice statement and it is also very familiar to us. The reason is they have given velocity time graph which we have already learnt in the first chapter called motion. Here it has been given like this. Now you observe that. The velocity time graph of a ball of mass 20 gram. Mass of the ball is 20 gram. Moving along a straight line on a table is given in the figure. See, here time has been given and this is velocity. You can notice that. How much force does the table exert on the ball to bring it to rest? Did you understand? What amount of time will it take to come to rest? Dear students, could you tell which physical quantity can be described by using VT graph? You are right, it is acceleration. Right? Then to find out the force, we have the formula. What is that formula? It is F is equal to M into A. Do you know the mass? Certainly, 20 gram. Do you know acceleration? Acceleration is unknown. So, to find out the acceleration, we have to use the formula A is equal to B minus U by T. See, first let us write the given information. Observe that. Here, the velocity time graph of a ball of mass 20 gram. Mass is given, M is equal to 20 gram. First you see that whether it is in SI unit. No. How do you write in SI unit? It is 20 by 1000 kg. 0 get cancelled. It is 1 by 50 kg. Then we need acceleration. To get acceleration, we must know initial velocity, final velocity and time. Look here I'll write acceleration is unknown, but initial velocity, what is the velocity with which it has started move? It is 20 meter per second. Then it will go on slow down in its speed. Then after 10 seconds it will come to rest. Directly we can go for writing that here, but we have to calculate that one. Observe it. Here I'll write initial velocity U is 10 meter per second and final velocity V, it has come to 0. Then to change its velocity from 20 meter per second to 0, how much time it has taken? See, observe that from this graph only. It has come to rest after 10 seconds. We can write t is equal to 10 seconds. You are going to find out the force, what amount of force has to be exerted. That means frictional force exerted by the table to make the ball to come to rest. Here I write F is equal to m into A. M into where A is V minus U by T. Where m is 1 by 50, V is 0 and U is 10 divided by time is 10. It's equal to 1 by 50, 0 minus 10 divided by 10, get cancelled, minus 1 by 50, it's equal to minus 0 point. It becomes 10 is not divisible, 0. Again it becomes 100, now it is 0.02. Is it right? Dear students, yeah, this much force is required. But actually in textbook, they have given it is in centimeter per second. Therefore, the data should be changed. Initial velocity is, it is 10, it is 20 centimeter per second. This can be written as centimeter per second is there. Convert this into meter per second. 20 centimeter can be written as 1 by 100. Now meter per second. 0, 0 get cancelled. It is 0.2 meter per second. Then final velocity, it is 0 meter per second. Now we can write time. It is 10 seconds. F is to be found out. Then it should be changed here. Here U is, it is 0.2. Here I'll write 0.2. Then final velocity, obviously it is 0. This time correct it is. Now this can be written as minus 0.2 divided by 10. It is equal to 1 by 50 into minus 0.2 is there. It can be written as 2 by 10 into, this is 1 by 10 as it is. It is equal to, this will be minus 2 by 50 into 10 into 10. 10 tens are 100. 100 into 50. It is 5000. And it should be divided. Minus 2 by 2500. Because 2 ones are 2000, 500s are 5000. Then it is, let us divide 2 by 2500. 0.0 won't come, 0, 0 won't come, 0, 0 won't come, 0, 0. Now 20,000. 2000, it is 1 by, it will be 10,000. Now this is 4s are 10,000. It will be 0.0004. Minus is there, let me write minus as it is. So this much amount of force is required. Therefore, the table exerts a force of 0.0004 Newton. Clear? Minus sign indicates it is the frictional force. The force exerted by the table on the ball is opposite to the direction of the movement of the ball. Hope that you have understood. Please go for copy. Dear students, it is another important statement which has been given in your NCERT text only. Please go through that. We are very familiar with both first law and second law of motion. First law, it will tell us the information that when no force is applied on a body which is at rest, maintains the same state of rest. When no force is applied on a body which is moving with a uniform motion, will continue to move with the same velocity, right? Whereas second law of motion, it gives the relationship among force, acceleration and mass, that is F is equal to m into A. Now please go through the statement. It is, state the first law of motion mathematically using mathematical expression for second law of motion. Or we have to show that Newton's first law of motion is contained in the second law. Dear students, you all know that Newton's second law of motion, according to Newton's second law of motion, its mathematical expression can be written as F is equal to m into A, right? Where A is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by t. I'll write the same. It is v minus u by t. Clear? Then this can also be rewritten as F is equal to mv minus mu by t, or F into t is equal to mv minus mu. Dear students, suppose when no force is applied, that means here I'll write case 1. If F equal to 0, then what it will be? No force is applied for some time. Then we can write, see that 0 into t is equal to mv minus mu. 0 into t is 0. It's equal to m into v minus u. Then 0 by m is again 0, v minus u. Transfer u to the left hand side. It becomes v is equal to u for time t, irrespective of whatever the time. When no force is applied, initial velocity and final velocity are same. When the initial and final velocities are same, what does it mean? The body moves with a constant velocity. Clear? Here I will write. It means that the body is moving with a constant speed, with a constant velocity, nothing but uniform velocity. See that we have the same statement. A body continues to move in the same state of uniform motion unless it is compelled by an external force. Here, if force is 0, that means we can say that the body moves with a constant velocity. One part is over. Now, we have another case. That is, second case. Suppose u equal to 0. Here I will write if u equal to 0. If u equal to 0, what about the v? Then v will also be equal to 0, because v minus u v is equal to u if and when the object is moving with a constant velocity, right? If u equal to 0, then v equal to 0. See, both initial and final velocities are same. Then what do you say about the state of a body? Is it at rest or in motion? When both the velocities are 0, it remains at rest, right? We can write, it means that the body remains at rest. See that? Here you may call this as statement 1 and this as statement 2. From 1 and 2, what do you say? These are nothing but the statements of Newton's first law. Every object continues in the same state of rest or of uniform motion if no external force is applied. Clear? From 1 and 2. From 1 and 2, we can say that Newton's second law is contained in first law. Sorry, Newton's first law is contained in second law. Clear? Important one, chance of asking. Hope that you have understood. Yes, please go for copying from there to here. Okay, dear students, we have some scientific reasoning questions with respect to Newton's second law of motion. Once you just go for recalling it, it is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. As rate of change of momentum increases, force also increases. As it decreases, force also decreases, right? That can be written as F is directly proportional to, it is mv minus mu by t. If the time increases, what happens? Force exerted decreases. If the time decreases, force exerted increases. Based on that concept only, we can go for answering these questions. The first one, which is very familiar